In reference to the current resurgence of Soulja Boy in the popular culture and his demands to be recognized as the comeback artist of 2018, which he wasn't. Personally, if we speaking of quality music from an MC that hasn't released much in a while, then you kinda gotta give it to Bun B for his Return of the Trill, his first project in 5 years, and he barely missed my top 5 of 2018, but that's a completely different show. Yet I guess I kinda gotta speak about Soulja Boy because many of the things that Soulja Boy has spoke of in the Breakfast Club interview and subsequent interviews was surprisingly based firmly in truth. Starting with his status of being the first to translate social media fame into an industry game changer, love him or hate him, you can't deny that he was an integral piece to get where music is today. Mostly people will remember this interview due to the savage reactions to the likes of Meek Mill, which they did squash that on Yams Day, but mostly towards Drake. As Soulja Boy points out exactly where Drake stole his style bar for bar, to the shock of Charlemagne and seemingly all of social media, there was no denying his receipts that he brought to the table. Therefore, I believe it's very important to acknowledge Soulja Boy's contributions to hip-hop music. His success made a whole lot of things possible, especially for independent acts today to have a chance at making a living without having to sign to record labels. But let's not forget the fact that he was a pivotal act that transitioned hip-hop into a lower quality production, lower quality lyricism, pretty much amateurism with catchy dances, and they made that standard for the industry. And for as much as his strategic moves has helped people, these moves over time has proved to be a one-off eventuality. It turned into a double-edged blade that have simple things like listening to the radio unbearable and a major setback for the progression of this craft. Let's look back at the music industry, man, in 2007. This is well before streaming became the standard for music is being heard. At the time, the industry was seeking out means to combat illegal downloading, which dropped music from a $14.5 billion industry to a $9 billion industry in just 9 years. But then came Soulja Boy's Crank That, and it changed the face of everything. It initially went viral as a self-published song, attaining 27 million views in early 2008. Until the sheer popularity had Mr. Collarpark come calling for him. For those of you who don't know Mr. Collarpark, he's known for helping out acts like the Yin Yang Twins, and they made songs like the Whisper song that I'm sure most people actually recognize, gained mainstream success. Mr. Collarpark was specifically known as one of those guys that would watch the children musical movements and try to take it and have his own profit off of it. And therefore, doing this with Soulja Boy paved his way to getting to Interscope Records. After that, he pretty much became the first song to ever sell 3 million in digital downloads by January 2009. No matter what industry you're in, this amount of success is going to change things, just off the fact that people want that kind of money. Think about it like this. Soulja Boy created a song that sounded like it was produced off the demo version of Fruity Loops and then recorded with cheap programs like Cakewalk at somebody's home studio. And because it was catchy with a dance attached, it sold 3 million digital downloads. It's the literal sense of anybody can do this. Why should labels put up $1 million budgets for videos, let alone full albums, when someone can make 3 million off of downloads with the bare minimum of startup capital? This directly spawned a large amount of individuals called ringtone rappers at the time. People who would make music solely so they can sell it as ringtones. See, Soulja Boy helped cut the cost of record labels and opened up alternate forms of income and helped this industry survive at a pivotal time. So yes, you can't understate Soulja Boy's importance, but my question is, if your success made it so these people making billions can pay artists less for a much worse product, is what you did actually considered a good thing? So being the first to directly tie in viral videos with album sales, you would expect that to hold relevance in this entire generation, from the musicians to the actual music fans. And this is true with Soulja Boy, best being seen with Drake. See, Drake going bar for bar off of that Kiss Me Through the Phone on his Miss Me song, that all but shows you the importance of Soulja Boy throughout this culture. But instead of accepting it as flattery of his status and all of that, man, he literally believes that without him, Drake would be nothing. So the guy who was outed for getting ghostwriting quoted your balls? Shocking. To be real, he did to Soulja Boy exactly what he did to Quentin Miller. He seen something in a lackluster performance and made it better. And I'm not gonna say Kiss Me Through the Phone was complete trash, but those verses were. Now, reality says that if Drake never used those particular bars, he still would be Drake to this day. And that's because the work that he puts in is what elevated him. Now, for what Soulja Boy did, people should want to shout him out, like multiple generations have done the same with Jay-Z. But it's completely different. Because for Soulja Boy, again, Soulja Boy is the face of anyone can do this music no matter how bad you are. While people respect the likes of Jay-Z and Nas because they want to strive to reach the amount of success in the industry, but also they want to achieve to reach the skill set. So over time and many failed business decisions, Soulja Boy has become more of a punchline until that Breakfast Club interview. See, we're talking about the guy who tried to sell a glorified ROM emulator for $150 masked as a gaming system until Nintendo sued him. Or whose hoverboard company lost $175,000 due to fraudulent purchases. But yet, in all fairness, Soulja Boy does have some successful ventures, like an e-cigarette line, and his fashion line is doing well the last time I heard of it. But yet, this culture that he helped pioneer doesn't recognize these smaller success stories as much as his massive failures that he's had over time. But this interview is intriguing though, because when Lazy Bone disses the Migos, he's shunned. But when Soulja Boy is out here venting, his name gets put back into mainstream conversations positively because people made a funny meme out of it. Historically speaking, Soulja Boy's place at the table of hip-hop must be recognized for his ingenuity. Personally, I would argue that the music industry was headed in this direction of individuals using social media to launch independent careers, and he was merely just the first to do it on the highest level. Basically, he gets credit for inventing the digital age we live in, but if it wasn't for him, it would have been somebody else. It was a foregone conclusion that music was going digital. He just got to it first. And my proof to back this up happens with his lack of game-changing business ventures from his successes and his failures. For example, look at 50 Cent. 50 Cent came into hip-hop and shattered the game. But when his stardom faded, he bounced back with power as he's starting to craft his own empire that hip-hop artists haven't been able to do with television shows. Soulja Boy has a failed Subway restaurant. You know how difficult it is to fail at Subway? And he's getting clowned right now for asking for donations to start an esports team. So this is where he can miss me with the whole argument that all the new artists out here owe him 5% because without his music they wouldn't exist. Now with that thought process, I ask, how much money has he paid to the likes of NWA? Because without them, Big Draco, or whatever he wants to be called these days, would never have made or thought of doing gangster rap music. But more accurately, how much does he owe the Sugar Hill Gang? See, the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight song was the first major record that sparked off hip-hop. Now, were they the best at the time? Hip-hop historians will tell you no. But they were the first to do it, just like somebody we're all talking about. So how much money are they owed because this multi-billion-dollar industry became a reality after they lucked up and became the first to get put out? Therefore, his trash talk is walking a very slippery slope. To put it simple and plain. Yes, Soulja Boy's name will go down in hip-hop history, more in terms of infamy though. Basically, if he's sitting at the table of hip-hop greats, then they got him at the kiddie table all the way to the side in the back corner where nobody wants to see him, but yet he's still in the room though.